time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
All right, it is the Karel Show, and today, dystopia, thy name is Met Gala. Talk about that, and is Trump losing the catastrophic war in Iran for all of us? Yes, we'll talk about the consequences. All righty, it is the Karel Show. I am Karel, so very glad you are joining me on this whirlwind cavalcade. It is a whirlwind cavalcade, isn't it? Today is Tuesday, May 5th. May the 5th be with you. Cinco de Mayo. And happy birthday, DJ Valentino Rose, better known as Stephen Cabral, who is, of course, my BFF here in Las Vegas. And today is his birthday, May the 5th. I always joke, you were born on Cinco de Mayo in Tijuana. You could not be any more Mexican. Now, you know, I will never forget it, There's a myth about Cinco de Mayo that I want to clear up since we're at Cinco de Mayo. Now, everyone celebrates this big Mexican holiday, like, woohoo, yeah. And it is true that the Mexicans they were so outnumbered, okay? And the French were invading, and Mexico stood up to them, and a ragtag group of soldiers, outnumbered by the French, beat the French at the Battle of Puebla. So, of course, great Mexican victory. Everyone was very happy. What everyone is forgetting is that 2 weeks later, the French came back with lots more troops, slaughtered the Mexicans, and installed their king. Now, why did that happen? You know, since we're on Cinco de Mayo, and we have to learn from history. Why did that happen? So, Mexico borrowed a shit ton of money from Britain and France, among other countries, and they couldn't pay their bills. So, Britain said, we'll take central Mexico. They told the French they could have northern Mexico. And they basically, the British and the French, invaded Mexico to take it over because it defaulted on its bills. It couldn't pay its bills. Does any of this sound familiar as we sit, trillions of dollars in debt, beholden to the Chinese and other governments who buy into our bonds and loan us money? One day, if they were to call those in and we couldn't pay, the exact thing that happened to Mexico could happen to us. So why aren't they speaking French and British, in Mexico? Because of the United States. So the French installed their king in northern Mexico as the monarch. And the United States did not want a monarchy right there on our border. So we told the French to get out. We basically said, look, and we told the British, we said, look, you guys got to go. Mexico will pay its debts. We'll help them and, get out. So we were actually allies with early Mexico, much more than we are today. So Mexico defaulted on its loans. Britain invaded the central Mexico. France invaded the north. Today, on Cinco de Mayo, Mexicans stood up to the French and won at the Battle of Puebla. However, in a couple weeks, the French came back, kicked their asses, and installed their king. So it's a bittersweet holiday. But most people don't get past the margaritas and partying and to realize that, yeah, it's a day to celebrate the victory of the little man over the big man, but ultimately the big man won. So, there is that. But I hope you're going to have a fun Cinco de Mayo. If you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to have tacos, be sure they're vegan. Because, and it's so fun. It's on a Tuesday, and Tacotarian here in Las Vegas, best taqueria in the country, voted by Veg News. So Tacotarian is having specials. So I will probably go there for lunch and have a little tacos, eat tamales, and, have a Cinco de Mayo. And then later I'll be seeing Steve. Excuse me, had my hot cocoa. Forgot to wipe. Later, I'll be seeing Steve for his birthday and, of course, his little doggy, Valentino Rose. Ember has an appointment at 3 today to have him check up. It's been 2 weeks since her procedure. Well, 13 days. So we're going to check up on that. make sure all is going well. So the Met Gala was last night. And hello to all those in the chat room at youtube.com/Really Karel. The Met Gala was last night. And, I love entertainment. And I fully believe there should be a costume section of the Metropolitan Museum of Art displaying costumes that are works of art from celebrities or stage shows or great designers. It's certainly culturally enriching to have that section. Now, the notion that they have to have this gala every year to pay for that section is kind of ridiculous because the big fashion houses could just donate and, have it. But they have this gala every year.
ReallyKarel.com daily. You're missing out. Get the podcast, videos, and the blog, including recipes at ReallyKarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
So they have this gala every year to pay for the costume section of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And, as I've aged, I see it very differently. Of course, as a young kid, I wanted to be invited. I wanted to wear a fabulous outfit and be on the red carpet at the Met Gala. I mean, really, I did. Someone that never cared about that, Barbra Streisand, never cared. There's a lot of celebrities that could care less about going. But there are others who do care. And I thought we'd start out by talking about how it made me feel. But before we do, let's take a look. I think we're going to get feedback if I don't choose the audio differently. I think I need to turn the audio off. Let me double check. Change audio. Yeah. I need to turn the audio off on this, or are we feeding back? I think we're feeding back. Okay. I got to figure out how to make this work. I've never done this before for you guys. So, here. Let's just do this. There we go. Okay. I think that's going to work. Probably phasing. So, turn that off. And are we having audio? I don't want. Okay. I hope this works. Let's see. All right, because that's Rihanna. You're getting audio somewhere. Oh, dear. Oh, bad. We're looping. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun, huh? I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it. Let's see if I can do another screen capture and get it to work. Because I really want it to work. Okay, so. All right. Oh, there. Okay, it's working. So, there's Rihanna. And of course, everyone always, sort of waits for Rihanna to show up because of her, her fabulosity. So here she is in a dress that who knows who made it, but look at it. That's Rihanna. Looking bejeweled and encrusted and fabulous. And then, let's scroll down. This is Vogue magazine. So there she is. There's Rihanna looking like, I don't know what. What does she look like? She looks like she's being eaten by a giant clam. I mean, or something. Maybe she looks like a bejeweled prune. I'm not sure, but it just, the look's got something going on there. So that's Rihanna. Let's see who else. This is her date, her husband, A$AP Rocky. He's a rapper. And he's wearing a pink bathrobe. Not making that up. That's a bathrobe. Let's keep scrolling. Look at all these ads that Vogue throws out there. Now that is Queen Bee Beyonce. She is looking fierce. I mean, look at her. She looks fierce. Okay, so that is Queen Bee Beyonce looking fierce. Oh, well, I don't know what popped up there, but there's Queen Bee. I don't know where she got that, who made that. That is something. Very Nefertiti, very royal, very regal. Now, the theme was costuming, by the way. So there's Rihanna looking, I mean, that's Beyonce looking very, Beyonce-ish. I don't know who that is. It looks like a bejeweled sheepdog. Very kind of Tina Turner-y. That is Tanaya Taylor in a Tom Ford. But that's something. That's a gown. That's a dress. Look at that. That's some understated glamour there. That's Doja Cat. And Doja Cat is looking like a cat, actually. I don't know if it's the surgery or what. There's Nicole Kidman. Now that's very nice, very, formal, but not, too weird. So that, there's Nicole Kidman. She went with her daughter. Oh, my goodness. Who is that that's naked? That is Tyla, Tyla. I think she's a singer. But my goodness. And she oiled up the girls, didn't she? I mean, look at that. She is oiled up. But there they are, her and her girls, on the red carpet. This is Sabrina Carpenter, the new It Girl. Her dress is made out of film. Everything, the whole dress is made out of film. I don't know what film. I'm sure there is someone that knows what film. It's probably profound. But her dress was made out of film. There we have Hailey Bieber. Okay, that's Justin Bieber's wife. Can you imagine the people whose job it is back there to stretch out all the dresses? Because there is someone whose job that is. And here we have, I don't know who that is. That's a star. Oh, Charlie XCX. A lot of these people you don't know. A lot of these people I don't know. Now this, Cardi B, I think it looks like she has fat nodules exploding trying to eat her head. I don't like this look. Do not like it. It looks like that she has fat nodules on her arms that are trying to eat her head. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I don't like that. And there we have Coleman Domingo looking very much like a checkerboard. He looks like he had an invitation to the Met Gala and his parents were poor, so they took a quilt off the bed and, made him an outfit. This is the equivalent of Dolly Parton's coat of many colors. There we have in a beautiful white outfit. That's Ayodo Adiri. She's from The Bear. She looks wonderful, not overdone. Very nice, very classy. That's a Kardashian. That's Kim Kardashian looking like, I don't know, Wonder Woman, bullet boobs. I don't know. Grace Jones would have cut half of that in half and worn it. So there's that. Let's see. Who's this? This is Poofy Billy. Oh, that's Blue Ivy. That's Beyonce's daughter. Looks just like her. There she is. Oh, is that Mary J? No, that's Serena Williams. She looks like a warrior princess, doesn't she? Like Xena warrior princess. She's a very warrior princess. Let's see what else. This girl, I forget who she was, but I love her dress. What's her name? I have to scroll down. Emma Chamberlain. She's in Terry Mugler, and she's painted all doe-eyed, but it's a beautiful gown. Look at the gown. Look at the bottom. It's like an impressionistic painting. So that's beautiful. That is a beautiful dress. Here is someone with their boob hanging out. That is Kendall Jenner, of course. Who else would have their boob hanging out? And then she took it off. See, she peeled off her gown. Because, if you're going to spend $100,000 on a dress, you might as well take it off on the red carpet. There we have Alex Consani. I have no idea who that is. She's wearing Gucci. God bless her. Oh, who is this? What is that? Good Lord. She looks like I don't know what, like a French painting gone bad. Very bad. That's Rachel Simot, whoever that is. But that's a statement. I am not sure what the statement is. The statement could be don't. And here we have Gracie Abrams in Chanel. Very, classic. Oh, that's the Jenner, Mom Jenner. She's wearing a kimono because, they're comfy. Kris Jenner. There we have, that man is Joe Burrow. He's a sports star. Connor Story made waves from a heated rivalry on the... Oh, who's this? Good Lord. They look like a fairy tale goddess of some kind or something. Like she should have a magic wand. Oh, that's SZA. She should have a magic wand. Don't you agree? And those boobs. Good Lord. Let's show the girls. Here we have... That's a kind of artistic dress, I think. That's Chase Infinity, whoever that is. And the gown is beautiful. Oh, now, I love this. This is Bad Bunny. One of the sexiest men in the world. He went as an old Puerto Rican man. Look at this. That is so cool. I mean, just cool. He went as an old Puerto Rican man. That's Bad Bunny. The very hot, very young Bad Bunny. And he went as an old man with a cane. Oh, this one. I remember this dress. This is Doechii. She is a rapper making some waves right now. She just has a song out with Lady Gaga. She's very Grace Jones. That's a very Grace Jones costume. So that's Doechii right there. And woo! That's He-Man or Black He-Man or who is that? Jeremy Pope in Vivienne Westwood. But hey, it's not boring. That's for sure. It's beautiful. Who is this? Well, see, men are just kind of, some men go all out, but others just like, meh. Now that's beautiful. Who's that? I don't know who that is, but it's a beautiful gown. Daisy Edgar Jones, whoever that is. And that's a beautiful gown. Look, she had blue fingers to match her gown, or she was fingering a Smurf right before. Tessa Thompson. Ooh, girl, giving us the shoulders, the boobs, the legs. That's Jasmine Tookes. Oh, very Elizabethan, and then sort of stops. I guess she couldn't afford the rest of the gown, or they didn't have time to make it. They spent so much time making the top, they forgot the bottom. So they just said, oh, here, throw that fabric on there. Who was that? Louisiana. All right, well, I don't know who these are not big stars. I don't know who they are. Like Iman Haman. I don't know who that is. It's not the Iman that we know. And who is this dapper gentleman here? He looks good, whoever he is. Jack Harlow. Oh, look at this. This is Maud Apatow in Valentino. Looks good. All right. Well, these are the looks. These are some of the things that people saw last night. Some men were boring. Some were fun. Some women were daring. Some were not. Oh, here's Madonna. Madonna came with a Spanish galleon on her head. I don't know what she was. She had 6 girls behind her with blindfolds holding her train. But there she is. There's the queen. The queen is Madonna. And there she is. And so I'll end with her since we know who she is. We know who Madonna is. So I'll end with her. So there we go. All righty. So that's the Met. Those are the looks from the Met. And, God bless Madonna. But she showed up. 67. Cher was there too, but Cher was really underdressed. Do they have a picture of Cher? Because she really, Cher can wow. She's got a closet full of Bob Mackie. And she didn't really wear any. It was just a pretty normal black outfit. I can't seem to find her in all these photos. I don't know why they wouldn't lead with Cher. I mean, come on, it's Cher. No, I can't find them. Well, anyway, so I was watching all of this, and it just made me think of the Hunger Games. Now, the Hunger Games is one of the most dystopian movies around. The series, The Hunger Games, the books, The Hunger Games. They're about dystopia. And when you look at the definition of dystopia, which I printed in my show description today. Basically, it describes the times in which we are living. Dystopian era. Because there's so much wealth at the top. A dystopia is an imagined, I don't think it has to be imagined, society characterized by extreme dehumanization, fear, oppression, environmental ruin, and severe stratification of the wealth. I don't think that has to be imagined. I think we live up to that definition today. Today, we have fear, oppression, environmental ruin, and extreme stratification between the classes. That is the definition of dystopia. And the Met Gala, to me, symbolized it. Mandami didn't go. Meryl Streep didn't go. Zendaya didn't go. Do you know why these people didn't go? I'll tell you when we come back, as we talk about the modern day dystopia on display at the Met Gala. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
So each year they have chairs and sponsors. Beyonce is co-chair, Anna Wintour, all these other people. But the sponsor of the red carpet this year was Jeff Bezos and his wife. And a lot of the celebrities that did not sit well with. Because Jeff Bezos abuses his employees at Amazon. It's well documented. It's well known. I don't have to say allegedly. An Amazon worker died on the floor. And they encouraged workers to keep working around the body. And I'm not making this up. It was in the news. They figured they couldn't do anything for him. They had called emergency services. So just keep working. We know that Jeff Bezos abuses his employees, underpays them, doesn't treat them well. And we also know that billionaires, of which there are 800 in the United States, and he is one, billionaires are destroying us. And so yesterday for the Met Gala, there were several celebrities that did not go because of Jeff Bezos' involvement. Taraji P. Henson. Mandami. Mandami said he would much rather stay working for the people of New York, trying to make their lives more affordable, than going to the Met Gala. And here you have the media, who are poor, by the way. You're not rich if you're on the red carpet of the Met Gala covering it for the media. Okay, you're not. The big hosts are there on the carpet. The Good Morning Americas. And the hosts that are paid hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. They're on the carpet. But the people that line the carpet, the media, screaming for photos, they're not wealthy. So you have these wealthy people in dresses that A, they'll never wear again, and B, cost more than your house. Okay, and this is the truth. Some of those dresses were millions of dollars. That Beyonce dress, probably millions of dollars. And so here you have these millionaires, celebrities, except like Connor Story, who was there. They didn't show the photo, but he was there. And Hudson Williams from Heated Rivalry, he was there. They're not millionaires yet. But here you have these very wealthy, very privileged people dressing up in clothing that none of us can afford. We can't call, Gucci or Prada or the rest, I mean, literally, I went out and bought cologne for Steve yesterday for his birthday. He wanted Prada Paradigm. That's what he wanted. And I'm certainly going to get him what he wants. 3 ounces, $174. 3 ounces of cologne by Prada. So I couldn't afford that for myself. But anyway, so here we have these people who are very high paid, wearing outfits that cost more than our cars and our houses, and to go to this event that they also have to pay a large amount of money to get into. It's a fundraiser. So if you're invited, you got to pay. It's like 20 grand or 30 grand a person to get in. And I know it's a benefit, for the Met. I get it. But it just seems right today, when we have gas here in Vegas at $5.50 a gallon at some service stations, when we have families deciding between food, gas, utility bills, rent, when you have only 8% of America with $1 million in savings for their retirement, when you have more homeless people now, an estimated 20 million homeless, there are more homeless people in America than there are millionaires. Get that. I believe so. I'd have to ask ChatGPT. It's hard to get a national homeless population figure, as you can imagine. I mean, how do you quantify that? It's hard, it's hard to get that. But I fully believe that it's a large number. Let's check. Let's ask ChatGPT. My little co-host here. Let's see. Is there any way to guess the homeless population of America?
Guessing isn't really the right approach if we want to be accurate. The United States does have annual counts, like the HUD point-in-time count, that attempt to tally the number of people experiencing homelessness. The latest data would give us the best estimate. If you want a general figure, recent counts have been around 500,000 people, but trends vary year by year. If you're after an up-to-date number, I can check the most recent official reports. Let me know.
Well, what's the most recent number? Well, it's thinking.
The most recent national count we have is from January 2024, when approximately 771,000 people were experiencing homelessness in the U.S. There was a projection for 2025.
How many of you think that's too low? How many of you believe there's more than 700,000 homeless people in the entire United States? Because I know there's at least 5 to 7 or 16,000 in the city of Las Vegas, is what they estimate. And I know in LA and San Francisco, there's got to be at least 20,000 each of those. So I believe there's more than 1 million homeless people in the United States. Do you all believe that? I don't have the data to back it up, but I think they're severely underestimating 700,000 people. I think there's much more than that. But no matter, even let's go with 1 million people homeless in the United States, you have these, and so I'm torn. Should we stop the Met Gala? I don't know. I do know that in the Great Depression, the wealthy did not flaunt their wealth. They went out of their way to be magnanimous, to be shown as giving back, and they did not show the public their opulence. Their parties were private. They did not show the public them eating out of silver dishes, caviar, and whatever, while the general public were on bread lines and literally boiling shoes to eat soup. Because they did that. Shoe leather soup. So during the Great Depression and in the 1920s and 1930s, there certainly were wealthy people, but they didn't flaunt it. And the Met Gala is the ultimate flaunting of wealth. And I'm not sure if this is the time. We have oligarchs taking over, and even some of the celebrities wouldn't go because of the oligarch that was attached to the benefit, Jeff Bezos. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on the Met Gala. Is it harmless? Or is it time to scale these things back because there's so many people suffering? Or will there always just be people suffering, so just be you?
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy.
Now it's your time.
All right, Rachel Capper in the chat room. You are a moderator. You can put anybody in a timeout that you want, hun. You don't have to ask for people to do that. That's how that works. Rachel, you are a moderator, so you are allowed. All right, so in the chat room, I just found out it's $100,000 to go to the Met Gala. Tickets are $100K. I'd have to verify that. Let's ask our friend ChatGPT. Come on. That's what it's there for. Let's burn up the environment. Let's use up some water and power. How much are tickets to the Met Gala? Let's see. Searching for the price. $100,000 a person. Tables start at $350,000 for 10 people. So that's $35,000 if you go in on a table. Holy fuck me, Batman. Now, here's the deal. A lot of these celebrities don't pay. A company like Chanel, Valentino, Gucci will buy a table and invite the celebrities to be at their table. So somebody pays for them, but a lot of them don't pay themselves. But wow. It's invite only, controlled by Anna Wintour. Even if you have the money, you're not guaranteed. Most celebrities don't pay. Fashion houses or brands buy table and invite them. It's a $100K donation plus social approval plus industry access. Wow. Now, see, that makes it even more Hunger Games. So you have these rich people sitting around, Anna Wintour, or Beyonce, others, sitting around deciding on who's good enough, popular enough, wow enough to go. And then you charge them $350,000 for a table of 10 or $100,000 a person. And then you get a big company like Prada or like Versace or whatever to, pay, and they invite the celebrities. This is the definition of dystopia. I mean, I am not wrong in this, okay? This is different than a Hollywood premiere. I've always wanted to attend a premiere of my own. I've attended countless movie premieres. My first one was in 1978, the movie Going Coconuts at the Schubert Theater in Los Angeles, where I met Donnie and Marie and Dirk Benedict. Oh, and that's when I knew that if I couldn't get there as a star, I could get there as media, because I went as high school press. And from that moment on, I got on all the lists and went to all the premieres, which was great. I got to go to premieres, even though I wasn't a celebrity. It was fabulous. But anyway, so a premiere is one thing, okay? You're there, it's a red carpet, there's a film that you're going to go see, all of that. Or a Broadway play, that's different. This Met Gala, it really is the height of dystopia. Let's have the richest fashionistas in the world decide on what other fashionistas should attend, then charge them more money than the average condo, well, used to be. Well, no. One table is $350,000. That's a house. That's a house. And there are 400 tables. I believe that's what it said. Let me ask. I didn't ask how many tables are there. Maybe it doesn't know. How many tables are there? Let's see. There isn't an official published number of tables. The Met Gala hosts 600 attendees, so 60 tables. There's 60 tables. So every year, these people could buy 60 houses. What is 60 times 350,000? How much money does this Met need? How much is that? I should be able to do it in my head, but I can't. 350, wait, all clear, all clear, all clear, clear, clear. $350,000 times 60 equals $21 million. $21 million. Wow. I'm gobsmacked. That's a shit ton of money.
If you're not visiting reallykarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast videos and the blog, including recipes, at reallykarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, we have troops that are eating substandard meals in the Middle East right now. Okay? They are. That's a fact. You can go research it. We have troops that are eating substandard food in the Middle East right now because Donald Trump is a fucktard and doesn't know shit about going to war. And I wonder how they feel sitting on those boats reading about the Met Gala, because it's all over the news. You know, they can barely get food. They're serving our country, okay? They're doing what is asked of them, whether they agree with it or not. They're over there serving our country, and many of them are losing weight because they can't eat properly, because the MREs and the regular food is running out and they can't seem to get them more. You know, you have people, I don't know. I mean, maybe I've always been blind to the suffering. I've always been poor, okay? So, you know, for me, it was always a dream to be wealthy enough to go to the Met Gala. But now I'm not jealous. I used to be jealous, and now I'm not. Because the Andrew Howard in me, my late husband, who died 25 years ago this month, he wouldn't let us spend that money. If Andrew were alive and we were of the status where we would be invited to the Met Gala, he would not let us go. I guarantee it. He would make us take that money and do some good with it. He told me very early on, Andrew knew that I was special. He did. And he knew that with the proper management, I could become Barbara Streisand if I had the right, connections. At least he believed so. Or a big personality. He really thought I could become the next Rosie or Ellen DeGeneres. He saw me as that. He saw me as a television talk show host and singer and actor, because Rosie has been in many movies. And so he saw me kind of as Rosie O'Donnell, except not a lesbian. And so he thought that we were going to have, good money. And he made it very clear to me that we would never have more than $5 million. He said that to me countless times. He said, we'll never have more than $5 million. Now he would probably say 10. And I would always say, why? And he said, because we don't need any more than that. And there are so many friends of ours that need money. There are so many animals that need money. There are so many HIV/AIDS patients that need money. There are so many seniors that need money and care and help that we will never have more than $5 million. We will give anything above that away. Now, that used to piss me off. I used to be like, fuck no. If I can be worth $100 million, I'm going to be worth 100. And he was like, no. He was a socialist. And he really believed that amassing wealth more, because he said 5 million, now remember, this is in the 90s and early 2000s. He said 5 million is more than we could ever need. We'll have a gorgeous house, several. We'll be able to take any vacation we want. We'll be able to retire whenever we want to. That money will make money for us. He didn't mean total assets. He just meant in cash. He wanted to buy houses and have real estate and all of that. And now as I'm older, I understand why he did that, why he had that mindset. Because now that I'm older, I have the same mindset. If in my life I ever get to amass a large amount of money, I will cut it off at $10 million. Anything above that in my bank account will be given away. Because you don't need more than that. You don't need a $300 million yacht. You don't need a $100 million mansion. You don't need these things. You can only enjoy so much. And in today's world, when there's so much suffering, I could not in good conscience spend $100,000 plus whatever I'm wearing to go to one event. I couldn't do it. And many other celebrities decided not to as well. I think it's a bit, odd. And Bezos, of course, just wrote a check for millions to be the host. I believe it was 10 million, something around that. He didn't feel it, to be the host. So you're raising 20 million off the entry fees, and then Bezos is given 10 million. I mean, how much money does that wing of the Met need? How could a wing of a museum cost $30 million to run? It's just clothes. You ain't feeding people standing there in the clothes. Just kind of weird, And yes, Trump is eating lobster, or McDonald's, while the troops are eating gruel. And that's the truth. And that really exemplifies the dystopia that we are living. We have a billionaire president, commanding soldiers who can barely get by. We still have soldiers on food stamps, their families. We still have soldiers that are homeless. We have homeless veterans. The veterans programs are being cut. Veterans line up for free food. In New York, once a month, there's they give free food to veterans. The lines are around the block while Trump eats lobster. I mean, we have arrived at a true state of dystopia. We really, truly have. And I think the Met Gala really exemplifies that. And I have to tell you, I watched The Gilded Age, okay? I like the show. But they're of the mind back then of don't show your wealth. Don't throw your wealth in people's faces. Be discreet with your money. Be discreet with your wealth. When did we become wealth worshipers? Because that's what the United States truly is. We worship the wealthy. We let them get by with so much because of their money. Because we worship them. There are people without a pot to piss in that will defend Elon Musk to the death. There are people that will defend Jeff Bezos. And these people are so poor, they barely can make their rent. And yet they will defend Elon Musk. They will defend Jeff Bezos. Reality TV, the Real Housewives of this, the Real Housewives of that. We just watch wealthy women behave badly. Why? Why do we idolize the wealthy? We don't idolize people for their brains, for their skills, for their abilities. We don't idolize doctors that can operate on you and with a millimeter's accuracy save your life. We don't idolize school teachers. We don't idolize the guys that pick up our trash, the guys that fix our plumbing so, our streets aren't flooded, the guys that lay the pavement. We don't idolize them. But the wealthy, we fall down and wet our pants whenever they walk into the room. Look at all the media coverage for the Met Gala. Look at all the media coverage that it got. What didn't get media coverage yesterday? The fact that our troops can't eat properly in the Middle East. The fact that gas is still soaring and that they're making $30 million an hour in windfall profits. The fact that Trump has no idea what he is doing in Iran and the rest of the world is now just shaking their head and hating us. The Epstein files. If someone should have made a dress out of the Epstein files. Perhaps they would have gotten covered if a celebrity was passing them out there on the red carpet. Someone should have had a redacted dress. A dress that was just all black bars, just redacted. That would have been hysterical. Andrew would have let us go to the Met if we could have worn the Epstein files redacted. He would have let us do that. The statement would have been worth it. I don't get where we are as a society anymore. You know, there used to be a balance. Yes, we liked celebrities and we liked to watch premieres and red carpets, and we've always liked that. Always. But now it seems obscene. It does. That kind of wealth in today's world seems kind of obscene. And you notice that in other countries, they don't worship the wealthy the same way that we do. In Ireland, they don't worship the wealthy. In France, yes, they love a good God. France invented the galas, you know, Versailles and opulence and all of that. But again, it's not something that fills their media. Wow. All right. What's going on in the chat room at youtube.com/Really Karel. Andrew was right, never having heard or seen him. I admire his values. I need to show him more on this show. You need to see him. Wealthy families led huge charitable organizations. Yes, they did. Back in the day, they did. Absolutely. They had to. They didn't want to. The wealthy don't do charitable organizations because they want to. They do them so we don't turn on them. I understood that a long time ago. The wealthy, if you're Mrs. Bezos, the ex-Mrs. Bezos, and your goal is to give away millions of dollars a year, okay, she really does care. But most of the wealthy just do their charitable work for tax write-offs, because they can write it all off, and so we don't turn on them. Well, look how magnanimous they are. Oh, they give millions to this or millions to that. Yeah, they take it as a tax write-off. So that's more money that they can earn. If Oprah gives $10 million to a charity, that's 10 more millions of dollars that she can make without being taxed. They're not magnanimous. Very few wealthy families are magnanimous. They give so A, we don't turn on them, and B, for the tax write-offs, and C, for the parties. For the parties. And they like to see their names on buildings. They're vain. Wealthy donors do it so they can see their name on the building. Look at Trump. Out of the last 28 presidents, 0 have put their name on buildings or on money. Now, Congress has, but the president themselves has not. 0. I saw a graph. Last 25 presidents, how many of them put their names on buildings and currency? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And it got to Trump, and the number so far is 8. He has put his name on 8 buildings and is now putting himself on the currency and on passports. So 6 buildings, currency signature, and passports. 25 presidents, nothing. Trump, 8. Why? He's vain. He wants to see his name everywhere. That's why the rich people do it. They want to see, the Guggenheim Museum. They want to see the XYZ Hall, Carnegie Hall. Carnegie Hall is named after the Carnegie family. That's why it's called that. And they love that. The Vanderbilt Stadium. The rich people like to see their names on buildings. That's why they do it. So they're not magnanimous. They're vain. And I'm not saying that they don't care about charities, but most of them only care about charities because of the write-off. If it wasn't a write-off, most of them would withdraw their support from charities. So, yeah. Dystopia. Dystopia. And in dystopian times, we look the other way for so many things. For instance, You know, the madness of King Trump. How do people not see that? I mean, the man's actually insane. He's demented. His health is declining right in front of us. And how do people just not see that? I see it. You see it. All of my friends see it. But how do the masses that we're watching the guy, they just go Biden this, but leave Biden alone. He's not the president. The current president of the United States is declining right in front of us. And we're just watching. Talk about dystopia. We have moved into the Hunger Games. We are truly the Hunger Games. Oh yeah, and the rich make us fight for money. Black Friday comes in. Yep. They love to watch us fight for rewards.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
All right, we are back. Is this our last segment? It is. Wow, the show flew by. Mainly because I was talking about something I enjoy talking about, entertainment, and because I always have to balance in my mind. You know, I love premieres. I love Hollywood. I want to be a part. You know, I want to have a movie premiere. I want wealth. I do. I am so tired of not having money. I am so tired of everything as a major decision. I was supposed to be in LA today for a Grammy rap party because I've been on all these committees and the committees change in June. So they're having a rap party today at 1:30. I RSVP'd for it, but I can't go. Gas is $6 a gallon in California. So if I rent a car, it's going to cost $200 in gas to go to and from LA. I don't have it. I could charge it, but you know, between having to take Steve to tea and get his present and everything else, and then my pension not coming for 2 months. I don't get my SAG-AFTRA pension again till June because they messed up March and April. April, May. You know, so I don't have it. I can't go. And I'm so tired of that. I don't want to be a billionaire. I don't want to be a billionaire. But I wouldn't mind having $1 million or more. And people my age do. It's not uncommon. And podcasters do. And influencers do. It is not out of the scope of possibility that someone like me could raise $1 million through my show or through entertaining or whatever. That's not out of the scope of possibility. But like you, I'm tired of thinking about it. Every month, having to count, you know, what money is where. Because, you know, I read yesterday, boomers, their number one fear is outliving their resources. Not dying. Isn't that something? People over the age of 60, there was a survey. What do you fear more? Dying or outliving your resources? And by far, the number one answer was outliving my resources. So we now have an entire group of people who don't fear death. They fear living beyond where their money runs out. That's tragic. I mean, that is truly a tragic poll. What do you fear more? Dying or living longer than your resources? And number one answer, living longer than your resources. That's cray-cray. Okay? That is, you should not be so worried about going broke that you fear it more than you fear death. You know? You shouldn't. But we do. We do. U.S. says the Iran ceasefire holds despite attacks in the Strait. See, I don't get that. How can there be a ceasefire if you're firing on each other? Ceasefire means no more bullets are flying. No more missiles are flying. And yet here they have bullets and missiles flying, but telling us there's a ceasefire. Okay. I don't get that. Today in Indiana, there's primaries. And we're going to see if the Trump-backed primary challengers win, that'll tell us if Trump is still a kingmaker. So people are, still worried about that. Abortion pill rulings. Oh, yeah, the Supreme Court said no. Then there's a stay. Then you could get it. Then you can't. Trump Ballroom Project security funding included a $72 billion GOP enforcement bill? The fuck? So again, a grift, a scam. Yep. A grift and a scam. Supreme Court lets Louisiana redistricting ruling take effect. Great. Isn't that something? Fabulous. And what else? Oh, that's about it that's in the news. It's all the news that's fit to print. So Blake Lively settled her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni before going to court. They see it as a loss for her, but most cases settle. I don't understand why people wanted to see these two in court. Most cases settle. Something like 90% of cases settle. Only 10% of cases go to court. So I don't know why that seems so odd to people, but it's in the news and it's odd. Yeah, despite attacks, the ceasefire holds. And Iran today said that it's a lie, that we are not escorting ships through the strait. That they said that's a lie, that Trump is just bold-faced lying, which we know he would do. So, what is he out there swimming with can you see Trump out there and swimming with a rope in his mouth, pulling the ships? I'm surprised he hasn't created an image of him doing that. He created an image of him and his cabinet sitting in the reflecting pool once it's turned swimming pool blue, which it's not supposed to be. The designer of the reflecting pool made it that color for a reason. To reflect. If it has a blue bottom, that's going to show through. They made it dark so things could reflect. It's a reflecting pool. But no, he doesn't care. And now he's posting images of him and his cabinet swimming in it. And yet if you or I jumped in it, we'd be arrested. He posted an image of himself holding all the cards, holding all the Uno cards. And it said, I have all the cards. So why not have an image of him with an anchor in his mouth, pulling ships through the Strait of Hormuz as he's swimming? He is the only president in history to post these kinds of images. The only one. That speaks volumes, doesn't it? He's been Christ. He's been hugged by Christ. He's been a king. He did a video of the Obamas as apes. And that's okay with MAGA. I watched Law & Order SVU. I was catching up on it last night while playing ball with Ember. And they had a whole case about, AI photographs. And I realized that AI has ruined photography forever because we no longer know what's real and what isn't. And that's a real danger. When you can create images of real people and not know if they're real or fake, that's a danger. And for all we know, no one was at the Met Gala last night. They were all at home, and those are all AI images of them on the red carpet. I am Karel. You be who you want to be, so don't hurt anybody. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. on Wednesday, so don't go anywhere except right back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Until then, stay safe. Don't forget to follow me on all socials, like and subscribe.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service.